Hey everyone, welcome back to Earth Turtle. Today we are picking up where we left off in Earth's geological history. We will focus specifically on a new era, the Cenozoic, by looking at its first period, the Paleogene. Last episode we wrapped up our discussion on dinosaurs by looking at the theropods. We answered the question, what are theropods? We looked at Mesozoic theropod examples, and we briefly touched on theropods after the Cretaceous, the birds. The Cretaceous period was the last period of the Mesozoic era. We are now going to enter the Cenozoic era, which is the era we are currently in. The Cenozoic era spans from 66 million years ago to the present day. It is the third era of the Phanerozoic eon. It is broken down into three periods: the Paleogene, Neogene, and Quaternary. Today's episode will focus on the Paleogene period. The Paleogene was from 66 million years ago up until 23 million years ago. It is the first period of the Cenozoic era. During this time, continents were even more recognizable as they began to take locations similar to that of today. Africa and South America further separated, opening north and south sections of the Atlantic. Modern ocean currents began to take shape. In the early Paleogene, India collided with Asia, creating the Himalayan mountains. Australia began to move northward away from Antarctica. Large seaways separated Europe, Asia, and Africa. At the beginning of the Paleogene, there was an initial drop in temperature. This was a result from the asteroid impact and eruptions from the previous period, the Cretaceous. The Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, or the PETM, was around 55 million years ago. This was a short and dramatic increase in temperature. Constant and gradual cooling lasted the rest of the period. Ferns and angiosperms continued to flourish. Conifers and ginkgos did especially well in cooling climates. However, ginkgo diversity began to decline after the Cretaceous extinction event. The first grass species appeared at the beginning of the period. Grassland ecosystems flourished by the end. The first eucalyptus plants appeared in Australia. Legumes also evolved. This is a group that would later include peanuts. A major group of invertebrates during the Paleogene were the gastropods. Gastropods include slugs and snails, and they are within the mollusk group like cephalopods. Gastropods have been here since the Cambrian period, however there was great diversification during this period. We also observe a rapid diversification of ants. In the oceans, sclerotinian reefs began to take shape. There was also bivalves, echinoderms, and crustaceans thriving. On the vertebrate side, plenty of habitat and roles were left behind after the dinosaurs died during the mass extinction event. Mammals and birds greatly diversified, with examples such as Gastornis, which was a large flightless bird that was around 6.5 feet tall. This bird had powerful legs, indicating that it may have been a great runner. There was also species expansion in other reptile groups. Titanoboa was a snake that reached around 43 feet long. It was the largest predator of the early Paleogene and was possibly the largest snake ever. The rest of the vertebrates in this video will be mammals. Let's start off by looking at the perissodactyls. These mammals were odd-toed ungulates. Ungulates are hoofed mammals. This group started out small, but diversified and grew to larger sizes throughout the period. Examples include horses, rhinos, and tapirs. Protohippus was a small horse that was around 15 inches tall. The artiodactyls were even-toed ungulates. This group includes pigs, hippos, giraffes, and many more. A carnivorous artiodactyl from this time was Andrewsarchus. This predator grew to about 12 feet long and was one of the largest land mammal predators ever. But since it's an artiodactyl, it is more related to pigs and cows than to modern mammal carnivores. Another group that made their appearance during this time were the cetaceans. This mammal group includes whales, dolphins, and porpoises. Cetaceans evolved from artiodactyl ancestors and are closely related to hippos. Cetacean ancestors had limbs adapted for land and water. An example was Ambulocetus at around 9 feet long. This cetacean entered the water to hunt and may have hunted like crocodiles. Towards the end of the period, fully aquatic whales made their appearance. Other mammals that made their appearance during the Paleogene were bats, the first primates, canids such as wolves, and rabbits. And with that, we finish our discussion on the Paleogene period. Join me in the next episode where we'll continue the Cenozoic by looking at its second period, the Neogene. Thanks.